Yo, what up? This your boy DJ 250 in the building with
Chucky Smash, baby. Shy Kid.
AKA
part of the Legion. Chucky Smash from the Legion. One of the members of the three-man team hailing from the Boogie Down Bronx.
Alright.
As you can see right here.
So, I got a lot of questions. I've been waiting mad long to ask them these questions.
This is long overdue, man.
Yes, sir. Check it out. What I want to ask you is, for some of the viewers, they might not know who you guys are. They don't know none of the history. So for a new viewer that never heard of the Legion, give us like a little brief of who you guys are.
All right, so give you the short version. Three-man group, myself, Chucky Smash, Molecules, CeeLo the Dice Man 456. We come from the southeast part of the Bronx. Came out in the 90s, 93 to be exact is when we dropped on vinyl officially. The Legion is a mob of us, represent many. Legion for we are many. And really that's just it. Myself, Smash, Dice Man, Big Man Q's. Three-man group, Boogie Down Bronx. Hip-hop, boom bap, forever.
All right. What I want to tell y'all is the Legion is one of my favorite groups of all times. The space that they have in the hearts of the fans that know about the group. Like I said, we in a time where it's newer generations that don't know. And it's one of those, once they kind of go back, because like I was, telling my kids about it. So it's one of those things like for them to, like how kids are finding out about Wu-Tang and other groups, it's new to them.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like a whole new generation. What I wanted to ask you is, what do you feel is the difference with being on a major label and being that now that you're doing things independently? What was the difference of the time when you were on a major label, like as far as promotion? Like, what do you think was the advantages of being on a label?
Well, independent is just that. Independent, you got to do everything from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Back then in the 90s, like you said, for the viewers who don't know, back at that time to get signed, as say, yo, I'm getting the record.
That was a super big thing.
Right. Big up Dres, Black Sheep, Mr. Long. They were fortunate. Dres was fortunate to get a label deal. We was one of his groups. So One Love was a subsidiary of Mercury. Polygram. So lo and behold, it was the dream, getting signed.
Yeah.
So being on a major label, they take care of the promotion. They put out the record. They put you in the studio. You get an advance. It was like love. You get signed to a contract. You get an advance. You get a budget. They take care of the studio. All your incidentals. Everything is put out there, given to you, but is generally a giant credit card, pretty much.
So let me ask you this: now that you have your first solo album coming out and it's independent, how much different is it from what you had before?
Well, we talking the 90s now, so here we are
20, 30 years
later. Yeah. So that gap, you take that gap, it's
no social media.
No social media, but just as I said prior, you got to do it by yourself. You got to do everything. You are the label. You are the machine, as my man Dice would say. You're responsible for promoting it, getting it out to the world. With social media, it's constant. Boom, boom, boom. However, the one thing is, even though, obviously, like I said, you had a label to pay for the studio, pay for the incidentals, take care of you, the core product still has to be dope. Obviously, back then it had to be dope, and even now it has to be dope. It has to be even dope times 10, because even at least with the label, if it wasn't up to par, people might feel like it was so. With enough putting it in your face, case in point, if the song even wasn't that dope, it may still get a little traction because they were pushing it.
So let me ask you this: do you feel like today's time, because as artists we have more control, like people are putting out more trash because you don't have to take it to a label, so independently
everybody
you can record in your crib like, yo, this song is fire, and then just put it out. Do you think because being on a label is different like that, they basically stop you at the door like, nah, this is not it?
But back then, now, like you said, it's like anybody has a platform. You can upload it. You can do it yourself, which is a beauty. However, with that much music out there, it's tough to find. It's tough to find really the gems.
Yes.
The majors, again, the difference is even the majors that still exist, they still have that push where they could put it. They have the budget or they have the means to put whoever artists, put them up as opposed to independent artists. But still, what I feel is if again, and it's still going to take a lot of things to come and play. Mm-hmm. If that product is dope enough, eventually it will hopefully get heard. But at the end of the day, there's still a lot of dope unheard stuff that never. Yo, this dude, this guy was dope. I never heard that. I never heard of that. Yo, that shit is fire. I never heard of this person.
So let me ask you this, right? Now that this is your first solo album, how do you feel? Because we had a conversation about it. How do you feel about being solo? Because like in a group, Busta was talking about like Busta made it sound like he didn't even know how big he was, and he got to that level. You know what I'm saying? Like he got kicked out the group a couple of times. We like to us, he was the kind of the breadwinner or like the best in the group.
He was the character.
But the thing is, to who he was, he didn't even want to be solo. So now that the spotlight is not on the whole group and it's on you, now it's like lights, camera, action. How do you feel about it?
So the name of the album is The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. The Legion, we've maintained consistency and using a lot of Bronx references. The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 is me as a solo artist. Molecules as the primary exclusive producer. Molecules is one of the members of the group. Like you said, this is for people who may not know us. CeeLo 456, my brother Rollo Square, of course, they still have pieces to do with it. But as far as, like you said, it's on you, Smash. You get in the ring and box by yourself, Sugar Ray. The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 represents the Bronx. Kept it consistent with there. Mm-hmm. The artistic part of it is being part of a group. There's 3 of us. So me and you chatted a few hours about that. I used to come in with my 16, see where I kind of fit in with the hook or the concept of the song. Now you're talking about maybe it's 2 16s, maybe it's 3 16s.
I don't know if I told you, right? Like when I think of the comparison of who you guys are, you kind of remind me of Hannibal, where it's like you kind of come in, do what you got to do, and CeeLo is kind of like Face. And Q's is like B.A. Baracus. Like I might not really thought of it as that.
People might not even know who you're talking about. He talking about the 18.
Nah, the heads that we wrestle, they be like, oh, that's the 18. Yeah. So you have the like I said, you have the mindset of coming in. Now the one thing I'm gonna tell y'all is, luckily, if you just becoming a fan, luckily you didn't have to wait like the rest of us did, because they had us scrounging, fiending for their material. Because it was times where we're
inconsistent.
Okay. I didn't want to say the word.
Which is case in point, even when I have these dialogues, or we have these dialogues and these conversations, we have nobody. I call it the Michael Jackson rule. Go look in the mirror. I look at the man in the mirror. So any work that we didn't put out is our fault. Maybe real life gets in the way, kids, family.
He's explaining inconsistency, but I'm listening.
Yeah, that's it. We're inconsistent.
But the thing is, the greatness of their group. Now, I want to ask you this, and this is probably toward the end of the first part. What do you think? I'm going to tell you my part, and I want you to explain to me. The thing about the Legion to me is, before even becoming a part or even meeting you guys, y'all had a family bond where I felt like the Legion was like giving tribute to the old school, because the way you guys do your ad-libs, the way the togetherness of it reminds you of the 80s, but y'all came out in the 90s.
Yes.
And y'all was Bronx. And y'all was sitting on tires by the 6 train. Yo, give me that.
Sealed.
So what I wanted to ask you, like, when you look at this, right? Now, this is you 30 years ago. What do you see as far as yourself, and like what is this? And I'm saying that in a sense, like, where were you at in your life at this point? Wow. Looking at this cover, because now you're older, and what do you see? I know Narwhal ass shit like he pulls stuff out, but I just wanted to ask you, what does this mean to you?
I see the. It's almost like I could smell the grittiness.
The tires, you can smell the tires.
The mold, being there in the Bronx, or right there, that's like a walking distance from our block, from where I grew up, Colgate and Story. That bridge is Whitlock, the 6th train, Whitlock Avenue, case in point. Everything connected to my soul, which is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
6th train, graffiti, hip hop. I'm a b-boy at heart, graffiti artist at heart, electric boogie. I did all the elements.
And
So when I see this, it's still, obviously, I get emotional.
Yo, look at his face.
Yeah.
Look at the seriousness.
So that, because I always, MC, always do like
that's
like
the aggression.
The battle. But I'm really a mild-mannered guy, I think. I would like to believe.
So let me ask you this: what's the difference between then and now that you've been in the industry for so long? Like, what advice would you give to a new artist from what you learned from then?
Artistically, grow, but don't change. Stay in your lane, as Q's would say. And we have remained, even with the inconsistency, I'll give you the balancing point. Even though the inconsistency, we go 10, 15 years without doing music. By the graces of God, we'll go in the lab. That's something she takes for granted.
Shit still sound like
3 the Bronx way, credit to you.
Yeah.
I never gave him the props.
I ain't get no shout out, but it's all good.
Many moons ago, this man right here, 250, I said it on camera, he was the one. That would be fire, 3 the Bronx way. Okay, 3. And we
it was a good trade, because if it wasn't for this song, I wouldn't even be DJ 250. I wouldn't even have that name. I didn't have a name. Like, I was like the Fake Kid Capri. I didn't know what to call myself at first. I just kind of I was in a group.
But why you say this?
I told you I got it from here. I'm living large like Naughty. I weigh about 240. I gained 50 pounds from 93 to 94. That's like right. 250 sound fire.
Big man Q's.
I'm close to 400 now, but I'm still kind of sexy, so it's all good. It's all good.
I call him Big Slim.
It's all good. All right, we're about to go to the second part. Last words.
Take
the album.
Pelham 1, 2, 3.
There we go. I wasn't gonna let you do the album.
King of the Beats Records. It's going to be on vinyl. It's going to be classic material. I will break out my pom-poms. It's
what's the name of your partner with the label?
King of the Beats, Pritt.
Okay.
Yes, Pritt put out the record. He's a dope hip hop entrepreneur. He's like, I can't even label him. He's a hip hop enthusiast who I cherish the relationship. He's been very instrumental in getting this project done and helping the Legion overall in our latter years. So the Taking the Pelham 1, 2, 3. Yes, a little tipsy from last night. Hitting your stores this year, 2022 is finally gonna happen. Chucky Smash, production by Molecules. Peace to 456 and Ronald Square.
Peace.